One of the joys of my 30-year career here is that administration has basically said, how can we help you accomplish what we want to do for any child? The institution will provide me any tool, any assistance to help any problem. I have no boundaries in that regard. And I am, part of me, a perfectionist. I want a perfect outcome, and I want a perfect road to that outcome, and I would like the patient to be pleased with the outcome. Letty's problem actually started as an infant, where she developed a very severe infection of her left leg that completely destroyed her hip joint, and also it affected the growth of the femur thigh bone above the knee, and a difference in the length of her legs that was a little more than 4 inches that obligated her to walk way up on her toes and with a buildup. That put us in the realm of we'll call it a relatively straightforward lengthening of the limb. We have used the Lazaroff method of lengthening limbs, meaning we're using a circular external fixator that encircles the limb that we're working on, that's connected to it by wires and pins. We're cutting the bone between the ends of the bone, and then allowing the bone to start to heal and then slowly pulling it apart. And there's a lot of pain that's involved in this. We did obviously explain that to her. She and her mother, they lived in a small house in a poorer portion of town. She slept on the floor. That was her baseline. For 1 year, her mother got on the bus with her and came to Scottish Rite to go through the counseling and education session to get prepared for this, because both Letty and her mother wanted this. The first part of the lengthening went so well that we discussed with her cutting the bone in the second place and continuing the lengthening and perhaps being able to make this a one-stage treatment. And after the first stage of the lengthening in the new spot, and we took an x-ray 2 weeks later, somewhat to our surprise and chagrin, instead of continuing the lengthening in the new spot, the bone had started to lengthen in the old spot. When we removed the apparatus, there was too much pressure on it, and over a few weeks it bent into a very significant angle to the outside, something that was not really going to work for her and wasn't really a ton better than what she started with. The best way to treat that was to put her back into an apparatus, cut the bone again, and straighten it, and then remove the apparatus carefully. The second stage was not as arduous from the point of view of the amount of length, because we'd accomplished that the first time around. We lengthened the bone almost 10 centimeters, 4 inches. She was very pleased. You could see it in her face. But her mother was really very effusive. She would always take my hand, bless me, thank me, through the interpreter, say, I didn't think that this was possible. She was pretty appreciative. Professor Lazaroff, to this day, accomplished things that nobody else in the world can accomplish. He did it through his own genius and ingenuity and experience. But the patients also were pretty much committed to stay there for the whole treatment. And that allowed two things. Number one, you could address any medical problem right away. But number two, the patients got daily physical therapy, which was crucial to maintaining flexibility, strength, a sense of accomplishment and a goal. So when the patients are in the hospital here, they also get daily physical therapy. They also get the nursing support. They get the psychological support. And physically, medically, we can check and make sure everything is right. So Letty's situation was such that it was best that she stay in the hospital during her treatment. And in fact, the first stage of treatment took 8 months. She's a bright, young, determined lady, and she took that opportunity to finish high school. She decided she wanted to go to college. She was the first person in her family to finish high school, and she was going to go to college. She got a legacy scholarship, and probably the most warming thing for me was she did study abroad. So she spent a semester in Spain. So in any case, I was just pleased that this girl who slept on the floor in a little house in South Dallas, nobody in the family going to high school, did a semester abroad in Spain. The average person comes here to help make their children's lives better who are here with whatever they can do. So in Letty's situation, she's exposed to the nurses, the therapists, the psychologists, and the teachers all of them want to help make her be a better person. And the hospital attracts those kind of people with that kind of dedication. And then her leg made her be here long enough to get the full fruits of that.